Now then, to discuss the weekend's hurling, we're joined on the line by Jamesie O'Connor and Paul Flynn. Lads, you're both very welcome. We're going to start with Waterford, 10 points to Limerick's 224. Paul, this has all turned around in a big way since the 2017 All-Ireland semi-final. I'd say there's a bit of head-scratching going on this morning.
Yeah, even Joe, it's it's frustrating time, I suppose, for anyone following Waterford or indeed involved in it. We're the talk of the country again for the wrong reasons. I suppose this time it's just the fact that, with the way, the fashion more so of the defeats, the manner, and, the way that the games are being finished off early. Like, half-time against Tipperary, match was done. Literally on Sunday, 2 minutes after half-time, the match was done. So from a Waterford point of view, a supporter and former player, I suppose, hard to watch. People in the county, they're expecting good things this year, I think, from the team, especially after maybe the injury hit campaign they had last year in Munster, and it's just turned out to be, the exact same as last year.
Yeah, because it was certainly possible to explain away last year, given the injury situation and even the lack of the home venue, and it was the first year of the round robin, so there was a sense that really Waterford would regroup. Even at the weekend, Waterford got off to a good start. They go 3 points up and then it's 4 points to 1 up. It wasn't like Limerick got a run on them and heads dropped and Limerick feel good about life. Like, it was even a more comprehensive defeat in that sense, and that Limerick turned around a slightly dodgy start and then really attacked Waterford.
Absolutely. It was kind of like Limerick kind of realised, right, this is what's happening. We go into plan B, and they just executed it, fantastically. But I suppose leading 4 points to 1 up and then finishing the game with a total of 10 points, it's probably not, the players know more than anyone that it's not a good sign. But I suppose from our point of view in Waterford, our championship record in Munster has been very, very poor over the last 7 or 8 years. We've done okay in the qualifiers, getting to semi-finals and into an All-Ireland final in 2017. But, out of the last 15 games in Munster Championships, we've only won 2. So, maybe that might bring a bit of reality to the situation, and expectancy was probably too high on this team for the last 2 or 3 years. And, the results are proving that we do struggle when the ground hardens up in the Munster Championship.
Yeah. Jamesie, give us your analysis of the weekend.
Yeah, I think everyone felt that Limerick could win the game, Joe. They obviously were under pressure as well, having I suppose not played particularly well against Cork, but nobody saw this coming, because this was a capitulation in the second half. I was obviously in Ennis at the Clare Tip match, and I think it was 1-5 to 6 points, and we knew Limerick were playing into a gale, and you reckon that, listen, that's probably it. It's done and dusted at that stage. But for Limerick, or for Waterford to finish with 10 points, I couldn't believe it. And I suppose the reality is now, they got to pick themselves up, because they're going to Páirc Uí Chaoimh in 4 or 5 days' time to take on Cork, and Cork will be looking at their scoring difference, which could conceivably come into it. And there's an onus now on the players in particular, I think, to circle the wagons, take responsibility for this thing and ensure that, okay, at least they finish the campaign off being as good as they can be. No one expects them to beat Cork, but they need to deliver a performance for themselves, as much as anything else.
Paul, it's always kind of cheap analysis to take out one moment and almost use that and say, well, that's a trend. It was interesting on the Sunday game. I'm not saying, by the way, this was cheap analysis, but you'll see where I'm going with the question, where they picked out Austin Gleeson running back with several teammates against the Limerick fella, and Gleeson kind of pulled up, and they kind of, they were saying there's something a bit rotten here, there's something not right here, that's not about fitness as such, that's an attitude thing, and so is that an issue with more than just Gleeson, that almost work rate isn't where it needs to be? And also, is that in all the games that we're seeing? What are the trends that we're seeing now across 3 different games?
Well, firstly, Joe, thank God they didn't have cameras on us when we were playing, because our attitudes would have been stink. But I didn't see the Sunday game. I suppose that can be picked out. That is easy fodder to pick out somebody that you don't know whether the chap is injured or not feeling well. I don't know either, but from my point of view, I just think it was the same mistakes that led to the goals again. Like against Tipperary, they had it back to 3 points, and there was no communication, and 2 players tussled for a ball, and Tipperary ran the ball into the net. And if you see on Sunday, Gerard Hegarty's first goal, again, 2 Waterford players went up. It fell to Hegarty. And the real disappointing thing about that is that Hegarty ran twice for both goals from 45 metres, I'd say twice, and never got touched. Literally never got touched.
So what does that tell you?
That is a problem. That is a problem. Like, I mean, you know, Jamesie will tell you, like, you know, if you went running at Brian Lohan or Shawnee McMahon or any of these fellas, you wouldn't get in there untouched. And the same applies to Tipperary team. Pádraig Marr, Brendan Marr, James Barry, they would not let you into that danger zone without touching you, fouling you in particular. So from that point of view, it would suggest that maybe I'm minding my own corner a bit too much. I'm not willing to, you know, take responsibility. I'm not ready maybe to go lead the team, you know, take one for the team. O'Connor Gleeson did take down Bonner Marr in front of goal, but that was last chance saloon. But I don't think there's anybody putting their bodies on their line sufficiently enough for that point not to be made. Yeah. So I can see why they did make that point, but, you know, obviously I'm going to be very slow to criticise a Waterford player for lack of effort. I can't believe that there would be a lack of effort. You see, I wouldn't either, because the point almost was in some ways more a serious one, because Austin Gleeson has been in the studio and it's obvious how much he wants to do well for Waterford and for himself, and he's 23 years of age, and, like, you know, he's going to do everything he can, you would think. So then maybe that leads you to conclude, well, is there an injury because he was taken off at half time? Yeah, but Joe, if you're Austin over the last 18 months and you're being played, you know, every game he's expected to play as good as his best. And, like, I can't remember any player doing that in the history of Ireland, playing every day at their best. Sure. His best is exceptional. And we were lucky enough to see that plenty of times, but he cannot do that every day. But he's been played at half back, not his best position is centre back, and he hasn't played there for Waterford only once in the last 3 or 4 years. Wing forward, full forward, centre forward. Well, do you know, that's almost where I was going, because I can't believe it's not dedication. So it was a sign of a player just not happy in himself. Like, you know what I mean? Just not happy. I would agree with that, and I would think that is the case, because his ability, his hurling ability, his range of skills. He's a phenomenal scorer, but still he's not a forward. You know, when he's driving, you can go back to the minor days when he's driving from centre back, under 21, driving forward from centre back. Waterford looked a different team. They looked to be a pacey team, and players were coming with them. He had, like, Shane Bennett, you know, Jamie Byrne the year before, the under 21 All Ireland 2015. That was a very good team as well. They were a very attacking team, and it was all driven from the half back line. Whereas this current kind of senior team we have are crowding the half-back line, and they don't go past the midfield. So at one stage on Sunday, you saw Maurice Shanahan being the only player inside the Limerick half, and we playing with a 4-7 Gale. Yeah. I just can't believe that was a tactic. So it's just frustrating. Yeah. James, do you want to come in on these points?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Joe, is Austin fit? Because, you know, Waterford came to us in the league, I don't know, was it in 2017, and his conditioning, you know, wasn't what it should have been. And, you know, one of the Clare players, I mean, couldn't believe that he was so out of shape. He looked overweight and so on. And, like, you know, that's something that he has to take responsibility for. And I don't know, was he fit earlier in the league? He may very well be fit now. But, like, if you're not fit at this level now, and we know where fitness levels are, you know, you get found out. And, like, Paul is as a point in the sense that, okay, the expectations are there that he's got to perform every day he goes out, but that comes with the territory of being a former hurler of the year, been a top class player. I mean, TJ Reid has to deal with it, Patrick Horgan has to deal with it, Gillan has to deal with it, and so on. And certainly, like, in the last 2 Munster Championship campaigns, I mean, Austin Gleeson hasn't been close or remotely close to the player that Waterford need him to be. And yeah, maybe he's a victim, I suppose, of his, do you know what I mean, his versatility. Maybe they just need to find a position for him and you know, give him a jersey, whether it's in the half back line or something else, and say, listen, this is where you're playing, but you've got to win your position. And certainly, like Waterford have good players. I mean, Jamie Byrne will be on any team in the country. De Bourke will be on any team in the country. Gleeson, fully fit, will be on any team in the country. But certainly, for me, Joe, there's, you know, Waterford's best players have been the young guys. I mean, Conor Prunty was very good against Clare, good against, I thought he held his own against Tip and was good the last day. Caleb Lyons was good on Sunday. Jack Prendergast did well on Sunday. But, it's up to the De Boerkes and I suppose the leadership group in the team to drive the team on now. And I suppose Brick and Kevin Moran have carried that mantle for so long that the next wave now have to pick it up and carry it. But it is really disappointing. I mean, nobody in Munster wants to see Waterford where they are now, and I'm sure there's a lot of introspection both from the management side of things and from within the players this week, and they really have to circle the wagons now and as to put in a good shift on Saturday night against Cork and Páirc Uí Chaoimh.
Yeah, it's true. And the reason I kind of brought up Gleeson, I suppose, is not so much to hone in on him, but you just wonder if it's not fitness, is there an unhappiness with tactics generally? If you're not happy with a setup, your head can drop very quickly when things aren't going well. You can just wilt. And you mentioned crowding the half-back line, Paul. Are you kind of scratching your head regularly with Waterford tactics, or is it now and then, or what kind of job are management doing here?
Well, now and then, Joe, is quite regular because we've had a good league campaigns the last couple of seasons. Getting the league finals and so on. It just hasn't happened in Championship, and I think teams now know Waterford too easy. We're very easy to score against from distance. Galway did it in the All-Ireland final. They didn't attempt to go near the goal. They just popped shots over the bar. Tipperary did it the last day until the game opened up when we had 14 men. So I think teams have copped on that if you don't have to attack Waterford, just take your long-range scores. So that's frustrating. And the fact that, if there's 6 or 7 or 8 points in it, we're still very much a defensive team. That, it's not, okay, plan B or C, lads, which is we push on or, the half-backs go up in the half-forward. But we're the ones defending, but yet the other teams are finding space in the full forward line at ease as well. I think Tipperary had it off to a tee in Thurles, where they just, short passing the half-back line, drew Waterford out and over our half-back line. And, it could have been, was bad, but it could have been way worse. So I think from that point of view, we've become too predictable. And, I think the current set of players are happy playing that system. I don't think they want to change. So I think from that point of view, Páirc and his management team obviously are stuck between two stools with her. Maybe they want to bring this Waterford team further on and maybe bring in some new blood that won a 21 All-Ireland 3 or 4 years ago with the team and that can score. So, it is a sticky one, going down to Cork on Saturday night. Will Páirc put his own personal stamp on the team now and say, right, going forward, this is going to be my team from now on?
And Paul, none of this is easy when you're in Páirc Fanning's situation. There's lots of scrutiny. Eddie Brennan was an RTE. He's clearly not paying up to the managerial union because he was saying some of the players wanted Mattie Kenny. He said maybe not too many people are aware of this, but I do know some of the senior Waterford players were looking for Mattie Kenny. So that's going on as well here in the background.
Eddie is right there. That was. I think Mattie Kenny actually met with some of the players early on before there was anyone appointed. So I don't think Eddie is wrong there.
Maybe they did want him. Was it as such they didn't want Páirc Mahoney? I mean, you get your second choice, and they're happy enough to go along with it, or is there a sense they weren't so sure?
I don't really know, Joe, because it's it's when you're in the camp, you don't leave stuff out of it, and when you're outside the camp, it's hard to kind of get information. But it certainly was. Mattie Kenny's name was certainly bantered around Waterford for a good 5 or 6 weeks early on. In the camp, in the process of appointing a manager, and it was even mentioned at times that he had the job and he had to go away and think about it and so on. But Páirc Fannin has been involved with Waterford hurling for 20 years. He done his apprenticeship with club teams, and he was a selector with Davy for Waterford and with Wexford. So I wouldn't think Páirc is number 2 to anybody, but it didn't help. It didn't help the scene, I'd say, when all these rumours were going around, but. He came in there. I would say perhaps he would we are a little bit lightweight on the line regarding experience at inter-county level. I don't think James Murray would have coached underage or club teams. Pat Carney coached in Cork. But I think if you see other setups like Tipperary, obviously they have experience in abundance. Clare would have a couple of guys in there, and obviously Kilkenny. So I think if Páirc was to, look at something, that might be something he could look at.
Yeah. You'd have a lot of sympathy for someone in Fanning's position, Jamesie, and it's horrible. Because I wanted to get your sense of, you talked about the quality of the players. you know, that there is quality there. And I was going to ask you if, you know, for all the criticism of Derek McGrath that his system was holding the team back and it was putting a ceiling over what they could achieve, you know, maybe rather than a ceiling, it was actually propping them up, and he had a deeper insight into the limitations of the squad than we all appreciated, and we're seeing that now. But you're of the opinion the players are more than good enough to be doing better than they're doing here?
I think so, yeah. I mean, listen, like, first of all, I mean, Pádraig Fanning is a good hurling man. He's Waterford the core, and there'll be nobody hurting more, Joe.
Yeah, and that was very obvious in his post-match interview as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, listen, I remember Dalo's first match with Clare. I mean, we went down to the Munster Championship and got absolutely pasted by Waterford. I mean, didn't turn up at all, and you know, I don't think I ever saw Dalo as hurt as he was. And the bottom line was we let him down. And
yeah.
I think the Waterford players let Pádraig Fanning and let the Waterford jersey down at the weekend, because there just as it seemed to be, you know, a kind of a capitulation. I met Ken McGrath after the game, and you know, we all know, you know, the service that Ken gave to Waterford, and you know, I think he was bitterly disappointed at the performance the players gave. So, you know, where do you go? I mean, again, like, okay, there is talent in Waterford, but Joe, is there enough talent? And you know, they don't have the marquee forwards, you know, that other counties have. I mean, we all thought, I think, that Patrick Kern maybe, you know, had the underage pedigree, but whether he lacks the art of pace or whatever, he hasn't kicked on or developed maybe to the extent that we thought he might. And I don't think this Waterford team, as Paul said, the way they're set up, look like they present a goal threat, look like they're going to get goals or really carve you open. And that's an issue. And look at it, it's up to, like, Derek. I was honest today, Clare filleted Derek McGrath in his first season and put up a massive tally, and that very much coloured the way, you know, Waterford went under Derek subsequently. And I suppose Pádraig just has to look at, okay, these are the players we've got available to us, and we've got to find a style going forward that suits us. And it's all about 2020 now and building for the future. And I suppose the positive thing, again, going back to last Sunday, was that the younger players were arguably their best players. Yeah. And maybe now, you know, you can't be looking to brick. You can't be expecting Kevin Moore to do it anymore. Just they've got to look at this as a rebuild and look forward.
And Paul, because I know you've to run, I know you've got training to sort out yourself. If there is an upside for Pádraig Fanning here, the word is that there are lots of good players coming through.
You know, it's be careful what you wish for, I suppose. You know, I suppose I was involved with the under-21 team the last 3 years, and I know there is good lads there, you know, and they're waiting to get a chance. Like, obviously, Jack Prendergast got called in, and Conor Prunty has been fantastic. There is a couple of other guys there, but I suppose it's really, Waterford need to win Saturday night to restore belief for the public in the team, you know, to get behind them for next year. I suppose it's important for the players themselves to play well. You know, it's important for Pádraig Fanning that they play well. And it's just important for everybody. But the fact that Cork this was his position last year, and Waterford hurled and hurled pretty well for 55 minutes, and Cork eventually got over them. I think Cork I didn't fancy Cork at the start of the year, I'll be honest. But their performance down in Limerick the last days made me kind of rethink that. But I think Cork will be hungry. I think Cork will need a good start, and I think a good start could cause lots of problems for Waterford. Yeah. But, you know, I just listened to James earlier. You know, it's awful to think that Cork could treat this game as a score difference game. You know, like, I mean, that's one of that's heartbreaking. But I suppose from our point of view, it's just about, you know, showing a bit of energy, showing a bit of belief, and showing a bit of passion. And whatever happens, but those things have to be on show. Okay. Paul, appreciate it. We'll let you go. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Emil. Paul Flynn there. Jamesie O'Connor still with us. A word on Ennis before you go then, Jamesie. So Tipperary, first round 224 from play at 228 total, 223 from play in round 2, 230 in total, and at the weekend 315 from play, 321 in total. They're averaging 33 points a game. This was another, not that I don't think we need it anymore, but just another copper fasting of the sense that Tipperary are back this year in a big way. Have they superseded Limerick as the team to beat in your eyes? In many respects, Joe, they have. I mean, there was a level of intent about them on Sunday. Like, they were, you know, they were clearly at it and up for it, and, you know, brought more aggression, brought more physicality. Now, Clare, listen, I mean, I thought the first 15 minutes was excellent from both teams. I mean, it was ding-dong, brilliant scores. It was a really strong breeze there, and Don Toohey was finding those pockets of space in the Clare puck out, and, you know, you were really happy with how Clare were managing the game. But
and even at half-time, okay, Tip were 6 up at half-time, and Tip had 9 wides in the first half and wouldn't have been happy, probably felt they should have been a few more clear. But I thought at 6 points, look, this is, given the strength of the breeze, this game is really there for Clare now if they can kick on. And Tony Kenny brought the deficit back to 5 after half-time, but once Callan got the goal, it was game over. And Tip, the rest of the game was played on Tip's terms. Pádraig Maher was back as a sweeper in front of John Conlon and Shane O'Donnell, and everything about Tip, I mean, as I said, just the level of urgency, the efficiency, the skill levels, the clear, knowledge of what they're doing, the way they're trying to play, and the way they move the ball in attack, the skill level that they have. They just look, Joe, at the moment like they've just got so many guys in form, and so many guys. I mean, Bonner is a classic example of a guy we probably thought maybe his best days were behind him, and was he really good enough anymore? Bonner was outstanding on Sunday, and just looked like someone had plugged a battery into him. He just looks completely re-energised. His touch was excellent. We know the questions he asks of defenders, and the way he runs at defences and opens up opportunities for other guys. But he was really impressive on Sunday. And they lost James Barry, before the game started. I think Niall O'Mara rolled an ankle or something on the Friday night, and it was seamless. And as I said, they won the game really emphatically. And they're in the box seat now. They've got a week off. Limerick go to Thurles in a fortnight's time, and it'd be interesting to see what approach Tip take, because obviously Clare have to go to the Gaelic grounds this weekend, but Tip, look at Tip themselves and Limerick, the teams to beat.
Yeah, and what will Clare take from the weekend as they go to the Gaelic grounds?
Ooh, very little, Joe. I mean, it was really poor. I mean, if you take before the game, I mean, I think I said to you, a lot of things maybe had to go right for Clare to win. We had to maybe just make sure we didn't concede cheap frees. We had to defend well, and our big name players had to perform up front. And the reality is they didn't. I mean, John Conlon, Shane O'Donnell, Peter Duggan, Tony Kelly, 2 points from play between the four of them. You can't win championship matches like with that level of return from your marquee players. And it's a big worry, I think, that Conlon in particular, who was an unbelievable form last year, Joe, just has no form right now. And with the games coming as they are, Limerick next Sunday and Cork 7 days later, it doesn't appear as if he's got any time to find form. There are no club matches. There's going to be no A versus B matches. And we need those guys to stand up. And as I said, Limerick, to me on Sunday, at home to Gaelic grounds, if Limerick lose, though, they're gone. Because Clare of Cork in the last game were assuming that Cork will beat Waterford. They play each other. One of them will get to 6, and they'll have Limerick on the head-to-head. So Limerick's season's on the line, and with Clare coming after beating them last year, I think Limerick will look at this as payback. So whatever else, Clare have got to front up and man up on Sunday, and we've got to get a performance. Even if we don't get a win, we've got to get a performance, and we've got to have something positive to take into the Cork game that we arguably are going to have to win anyway, because our scoring difference puts us in third place if Limerick and Cork finish on if we all finish on 4 points. So a really big ask for Clare on Sunday, especially given I suppose how impressive Limerick were down in Watch Park.
Okay, Jamesie, as ever, thanks a mil.
Cheers, Joe, take care.